We're going to add one more thing to the color page. In this third paragraph, this first sentence, some basic colors such as white and black don't need a hexadecimal code. You can simply type in the name of the color. Right at the end of that sentence, I want to hit return, and actually I'm going to hit return twice so that there's a blank space there. I am going to look at this in split view so that we can see it being built. What we're going to do is we're going to build a simple table that has some colors and the name of the colors in there so that you can see how this is used. Okay, so we're going to come up here to Common, and here is the Insert Table. So if I click on it, this pop-up says, well, how many rows, how many columns do you want, what size do you want it to be? So we actually want it to be 3 columns and 3 rows, 3 rows, 3 columns. Remember, rows go across left to right, columns go down. We can specify the table width in either percent or pixels. We're going to do it in pixels, and I'm going to type in, I think, 350. I want my border thickness, I'm actually going to give it a thick border. I'm going to say 5. I'm going to give a cell padding of 3, and I'm actually going to give a cell spacing. Typically when I make tables, I have cell spacing of 0 so that there's no space in between the cell walls, but this particular one, I want there to be a little bit of blank space, so I'm going to put that at 3 as well. And then if I click OK, you can see the table right here. Now, the table, click on it, it's selected. I can see it here in the cookie crumbs. And notice also that I can alter this table here in the properties. Okay, so if I decide that I need an extra row or an extra column, or I want to change the cell padding or cell spacing or the border, it's all right there. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start in the top left row, and I'm going to type in the word blue, and then if I hit the tab key, it will take me to the next cell, and then again to the next cell. And even when I'm at the end of the row, if I hit tab, it takes me to the next one on the second row. Okay, so I'm going to start by typing in the names of the colors that I want to put in this table, and you should do the same. Okay. Now, I just deleted that extra space there. Okay, so if I select this table again, let's look down here in the properties. I want to go to the Align tab here and choose Center. So this particular item is centered on my page. Okay, and then in the tab, or actually, I'm going to highlight all the cells in this first row. I want all of my columns to be equally spaced. So if I look down here, you can see the W and the H. That is width and height. Usually I let the height be determined by what's in the cell. The width, on the other hand, we can control. And since there's 3, if I type in 33%, it will make all the columns equal size, equal width. Okay? And then I can simply go into each individual cell, and I can go into this background color, and I can choose blue. Okay, now I am trying to choose well, actually that was, sorry, hang on. This one is not the most pure blue. There's the most pure blue there. And then here is the red and yellow and green. I will use that one. Purple. Remember, purple is a combination of blue and red. Pink. There. Orange. Brown. There is a brown in here, right about here. There we go. And gray. We have 3 different shades of gray here. I'll choose that one. Okay, so now all of the cells have a different background color that coordinates with the word that's in it. I am also going to go click on my table and go into my code, and I want to give it the table itself a white background color. It's not going to affect the different cells, but if I put a color on the background of this page or the div, then that will show through unless I put white. Now, here in this properties, there's not a place for me to put a background color for the table. So I'm going to have to go into my code right over here. I found my table tag. I'm going to type BG, and remember that it tries to help us with the attributes in the tag, so it found BG color, and then I can simply type or click on the color that I wanted, which was white. You aren't going to see any difference here, but just you'll see it here, okay? And then we have one more attribute that we want, and that is border color. Okay, and as I type it in, there we have it. And I want to put my border color as black. Okay, it just puts a more solid border around the outside. And then we are done inserting that table. The only other thing I want to do is something that we're going to do to each page. So I'm going to go ahead and start here on color. Each page has kind of a reference down at the bottom. I'm going to actually delete those two because those are no longer references on the color page. But what I want to do is I want to, after the last paragraph, I want to insert a horizontal rule. So up here on the Common tab, you can see horizontal rule, and it just puts a plain line across the page that then separates all the content from like the source and the copyright code down there. So I'm going to put that in the same place on every page. And if it creates the extra line, I want to get rid of that extra line. Okay. Let's see if I put it there. There we go. And I'm just going to work my way down. I did color, contrast. And last one is typography. There we go. Now I can control click and save all, and you can move on to the next step.